Hi there. In this video, we're going to be building our second Power Query query by hand using the M scripting language. This is going to be pretty similar to the last video. Mainly it's here for repetition, because I think repetition helps people understand ideas. There's going to be one small twist, so it should be pretty easy. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're in letin.xlsx. I'm here in sheet query 2. And I've clicked on this query, and that may have brought up this workbook queries pane because it's already a query in progress. If not, go ahead and click on the show pane button until it pops up. Right click on query 2 and hit edit to bring it up. So again, same deal like last time. We've got this temporary text string just as a placeholder. Really, we're going to build this thing from hand, or build this thing by hand, I should say. So let's head over here to the View tab and click on the Advanced Editor. Okay, again, just like before, everything between the /* and the */ is a comment. So this stuff, Power Query ignores this stuff. These are notes for us. And so what we're going to do is we're going to basically just write this out by hand, just type it out by hand. And we'll talk about what we're doing each step of the way. And we're going to delete this temporary text string because we're not going to need it. Okay, so right here, we're going to start defining our query. So we're going to start by saying let, and let tells Power Query, hey, we're going to have an answer, but to get that answer, there's going to be several steps along the way. So I'm going to define a bunch of steps here in my let, and then in the in part, I'm going to tell you which one of those is the answer. Okay, so let 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. Now before, we did something that looked like this, and that works just fine. A lot of times when you want to have a space in your step, you're going to need to do it this way, where you have the little hashtag or pound symbol, then quotation marks, the name, and then quotation marks again. And when Power Query, when you click on buttons in Power Query and it says like remove headers, it'll like, let me just do this. Well, let me type that correctly. It'll say removed headers over here, and it won't have, you know, the quotation marks, the hash. But in order to have that space, you need to have these around it. Otherwise, it's going to think of this as two different steps. It's going to think of either this is the step or this is the step, and it's not going to be able to distinguish the two. So to let Power Query know that this isn't two things, but one thing, one single step, we're going to do a pound symbol, quotation mark, and then head over to the end of the name of the step and add another quotation mark. Except that this isn't remove headers, this is first step. Okay, so for our first step, we're just going to call it first step. And again, since we're going to use a space, we're going to have to start with we're going to use a space in the name of the thing. We're going to start with the pound symbol, have a quotation mark. Okay, so let's define the name of our step. We're just going to call it first step, close quotation marks, space equals, and we're just going to have this step take the value of 10. And comma, because we're done defining that first step. Okay, let's move on to the second step. Hit enter. 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces by convention. The name of this second step is also going to have a space in it, so we have to start with a hashtag, right? Pound symbol, whatever you want to call it. Second step is the name of this step. We can call it anything we want to. I'm calling it second step. And the second step is going to be the first step plus 20. So again, to refer to that first step, since it's got a space in it, we're going to have a pound symbol, quotation mark, first step. And so we've gone to get the value from the first step, which is 10, and we're going to add 20 to it. Okay, we're done defining our second step, comma. So let's move on to our third step. Okay, pound symbol, open quotation marks, third step, close quotation marks. Okay, so we've named the third step. How is the third step defined? Well, what I want you to do is go grab the second step. So we have a hash, quotation marks, second step, the name of that step. And I want you to add 5 to it, okay? And that's it. I'm gonna hit enter. I'm gonna type in. Okay, so now we're letting Power Query know, hey, we've defined all of our intermediary steps. And for our last trick, we're gonna tell you which one of those steps is the one that is actually the answer. It's almost always the last one, but it actually doesn't have to be. But for now, just make sure it's always the last one. So it's going to be pound symbol, third step. Okay. So again, the way we read this is the let says, hey, Power Query, we're going to have a bunch of steps. The first step is called first step. It's going to be equal to 10. Okay, that's it for the first step. That's what the comma represents. The second step, that's what we're calling the second step here, we're just calling it second step, is equal to, go get the value from the first step and add 20 to it. So go get 10 and add 20 to it, or 30. All right, that's it for the second step. The third step is named third step, and it's equal to the, go get the value from the second step, or 30, and add 5 to it. And then when we're all done here we've defined all of our steps. When you want to go return the value to Excel, return the third step, the value from the third step, or 10 plus 20 plus 5, or 35. Okay, so if you're doing this by hand, you got to type things in carefully, because it is case sensitive, so like that will not work. You got to make sure that everything uses the same casing, and hopefully, if I spelled everything correctly when I hit done, this should work. Okay, so first step, again, it's defined as equals to 10. The second step takes the first step, it adds 20 to it, or 30. And the third step takes the second step and adds 5 to it. Okay, I think that's, it's fairly easy when you get the hang of it, although when you're just learning it, it could be a little tricky. As I've said before, or I don't know if I've said it before, I'm calling these first step, second step. We could call them anything we want to. I could call this banana. Doesn't really matter. The only trick is if you call it banana here, this third step is now looking for a step called second step, and there's no second step anymore. There's a step called banana. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. I hit done. The name changes here, and it still works. Okay, we're going to do at least one more of these, and hopefully, if you don't have the idea right now, or if it's still a little bit sort of out of focus in your head, hopefully doing it this third time will really sort of clear it up for you. Okay, thanks for watching, and I will see you next video.